Welcome to Les Raconthés, the podcast in which people you don't usually hear about can express themselves and deliver their stories. In today's episode, we're going to confront being a victim of rape and see what happens in the long run. It can be quite a sensitive topic for some people. I wouldn't like to revive traumas, but instead, I would like to offer answers and insights with someone else's story. If you don't feel comfortable, I invite you to listen to another episode. What does it mean to be a victim? What feeling of guilt can it trigger? What is rape? How do you recover your body and your sexuality from such deprivation? I also feel like we don't talk enough about what comes after the abuse. And I thank our guest Louise for accepting to cover all these heavy topics.
And I lived in Paris back then. And I lived in this really dead neighborhood in the smallest fucking shoebox apartment. It was like 8 or 9 square meters. And I was very lonely because I was sad. I had been cheated on. I had been dumped. And this guy just like basically walked out of my life. And I was not in the best headspace. So that made me probably a perfect victim for a crazy fucking dude to find me. So I was on Tinder and I was like not necessarily like hooking up with people, but like talking to guys and like meeting guys at bars, basically going on like a lot of first dates. And because I had just moved into Paris like a year prior, I didn't really have any friends, like any close friends. So yeah, pretty lonely overall. And so one night I was just like scrolling on, I guess not scrolling, swiping on Tinder. And I come across this profile and it's this guy. I don't want to name him because I don't want to personify him and I don't want to put respect on him, on his name.
As you should.
Yeah. And so yeah, he had like a weird Tinder profile. It was just like memes and like dolphin memes. And like that was the vibe at the time. It was like funny back in 2016. Like everyone was on like random like meme of dolphins pages on Facebook and like Instagram. But anyway, so I thought his profile was funny. So we just like started chatting because we had matched. And he was really funny. And very shortly after, we added each other on Facebook because it was the vibe at the time as well. And yeah, we were just like chatting on Messenger basically all day long for like a month or two. And he really got me. He was also like in a pretty bad headspace at the time. He was dealing with issues with alcohol and yeah, just feeling overall pretty depressed as I was as well. But yeah, so we just talked online for 1 or 2 months. And then I remember one day he messaged me and he was like, "Oh, by the way, where do you live in Paris?" So I just told him like my neighborhood where I lived. And he was like, "Oh my God, I'm like a 10 minutes walk from your apartment." And I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Perfect match.
Perfect match, right? But at that point, I did not know what he looked like because on his Tinder profile, there was just like memes basically. So I had no clue what that man looked like. I just knew that he was a year older than me. And we had like similar hobbies, very similar humor. He was really funny and goofy, funny guys are my type. And even on his Facebook, it was like pictures of him from the back or like really cropped or like super like zoomed in pictures. And I did not know what his face looked like. I had like this idea of what he could look like because I could see that he had like this big afro and he was like a really tall, like not muscular, but like pretty fat man. So yeah, he told me that day that he basically were neighbors and he's like, "Oh, do you want to meet up?" And I'm like, I kind of felt iffy about it because I was like, I feel like I'm fine just like chatting on the internet with you. But I was 19, so I did not know I could say no to men back then.
And you had a bad relationship before that, right?
Yeah. It was not a bad relationship. It was just the way that the previous guy had ended things made me really depressed that like he never did anything wrong to me, but cheated on me towards the end of a relationship. So yeah, he wanted to see me in person, and back then I didn't know I could say no to men because honestly, I remember thinking, is it necessary? Do I really want to meet him like in person? Because I feel like what we have chatting online is fine. And like when I say we're chatting like hundreds of messages a day. Nothing romantic. It was just like exchanging memes and like exchanging YouTube videos, confiding in each other whenever someone would feel depressed or anything. So yeah, I said yes, and he said, okay, we can meet tonight. You want to come over to my place, or do you want to go to a bar? And I was like, I'm thinking bar. Because I was like wary, because I had never met him or seen him in person.
Yeah, and you weren't sure that he was his age.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of anything really, because I didn't know what he looked like, literally. And so the day goes by, and so we had agreed to meet at this specific bar at like 8 p.m. that day. And around like 6 p.m. he texts me and he's like, okay, the bar is closed. And he's like, so we want to come to my place? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I guess I will come to your place.
And you were 19, so
I was 19, and like the way I'm telling it right now, it's such a major red flag. But at the time, I was just like, yeah, okay, no problem. Let's do it. So I get to like outside his building, and I don't know if you live in Paris, so you probably know, but it was in the 15th near Beaugrenelle. You know, like those super high rise complex apartments with like 18, 20 fucking floors. Super impressive. And I don't know, I felt very uneasy getting there. And then I see him come towards me, and he's like 6'7", huge afro, huge mustache. And I feel not taken aback, but because like I hate to judge someone on the way that they look, you know? But the first thought that I got in my brain was like, I'm never hooking up with that guy. He's not my type. He's kind of like impressive looking. But anyways, so we get to his apartment, and I remember in the elevator, I felt almost lightheaded because he lived on like the 19th floor or something. And it probably didn't have anything to do with the fact that I was like going up high, but I felt really lightheaded because I was probably stressed out as well. And then like that night, we didn't really do anything. We just like listened to music. He offered me to drink beers and stuff, although I told him that I didn't drink alcohol. So yeah, I can like drink a beer because he like insisted on giving me one. And then I started feeling really uneasy, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, because like it was awkward, like weird, like awkward silences. And I could tell like we were working online, but like in person, there was this weird like disconnection. And so we went to I went to the bathroom, and I texted a friend, and I was like, okay, I'm at this guy's. He's nice, but like I feel uneasy. Can you call me in like 5 minutes and tell me that like you forgot your keys or something? And so that's what she does. I walk back to the living room where he was, and then 5 minutes later, she calls me. And so I hung up, and I'm like, okay, so I have to go. It was nice to meet you, blah, 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 bye. And he's like, wait, you don't have a roommate? And I was like, no, but like she's staying over at my place tonight, and like she forgot my keys or something, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, still I was 19, so that was another red flag that I did not consider.
Like him remembering that is a bit weird.
Yeah, right. And like as an adult and like as a man, when you can tell a woman is lying to you on a date, don't call her out on it, because if she's lying, that means she's uneasy. So just let her go.
Yeah.
You know? And then he insisted on walking me back, and like I could tell he wanted to make sure that that friend was actually coming, like, you know. So that was weird. So that night happened, and when I got home, I was like, I am never going to see him again. Like I will chat to him online for sure, but like I do not want to see him again. And then somehow, I honestly don't have any like specific details or events, but at some point in the coming months, we just like started hanging out together, and we became like actual close friends. I would like take him to parties with my friends. I remember we celebrated like my birthday and like Halloween with my friends. We would go out to bars, and so he was introduced to my friend group, but he never introduced me to his friend group. But yeah, anytime I had like gaps in my day and I would finish class early because I was still studying for my bachelor's back then, I would just like go hang out at his place, and we would watch movies, listen to music, something. And so that night, for some reason, we had watched a movie in his bed, and I ended up just like falling asleep watching the movie, and I was awakened by his fingers in my underwear. And I was like, oh, okay, weird. And I didn't say anything because it was really like it happened really fast unless I was still asleep when he was doing that. And like I had just like woken up for the last few seconds. So it was so quick that I thought I had dreamt it. But I remember feeling really uneasy the next few days. Didn't say anything about it to him because I was 19 and very naive. I can't really place it on like a timeline, but at some point we had consensual sex.
Was it before
It
the...
was after
Okay.
he had touched me in my sleep. But yeah, I remember one morning, it was a weekend, and we woke up in the same bed and he was kind of like spooning me. And we had grown so close at that point that I was not shocked by that gesture towards me. And I don't know, I just like, we just had sex that morning. And it was the only time that we had consensual sex, basically. And so after that happened, I remember going home and being like, ew, why the fuck did I do that? Like, ew. Because I remember like the whole time I was friends with him, I was never physically attracted to him. Like he, well, I want to say that he repulsed me, but no, at the time he was just like not my type. Now he repulses me because of what happened, of course, and he's just an ugly person overall. But yeah, so that happened, and then it just like grew exponentially. I would be over at his apartment every night, and every night he would push it further. So one night I woke up and he was inside me, like as in his genitals inside of me.
Wow.
And I was just like in a state of sitiration. I was just like, what the hell is happening? And like I kept my eyes closed and I was just like, I'm just going to let it go because I do not know how to react right now. It's like my fight or flight did not even activate. It was like frozen, absolutely frozen.
Did you have any idea of what rape was at the time? Were you able to put words on it?
Yeah, I was, but to me, rape was like in a dark alleyway with a stranger,
Mm.
you know? It was, yeah, 2016, 2015. I feel like this narrative of a rapist can be your friend was not in the mainstream media.
Yeah, you had this idea of the good victim, the...
Right, yeah. And like also because I had had consensual sex with him before that, I thought it was normal, like that he could like he could like
Expect.
use my body, or I mean, not use my body because I think I would have thought about rape using that expression, but it could happen again because it happened already in the past,
Yeah.
it happened once. But yeah, so that time, honestly, I don't even remember how long that it lasted. Um, but in the morning when I went to class, I was just like flabbergasted. It was like, what happened? Like literally. And I could not put words on what I was feeling because also, yeah, in the back of my mind was like, okay, so I had sex with him before consensually, so it's normal, I guess. But also I feel icky, And so the whole day I was like not having a good day. I was like, ugh, I feel weird. And he texted me towards the end of the day and he was like, you doing anything tonight? And I remember texting back, like, what the fuck happened last night? Like kind of accusatory, but it was not like, I think he knew that I would not have used the word rape for what happened. So he just like apologized and he was like, okay, yo, I thought you were awake. So, and I thought like I heard you like moan and find it pleasurable basically, so I just kept going. So I'm so sorry that you were asleep. It was not my intention. Can I come over tonight and like apologize to you because it's really bad what I did?
Yeah, make up for it.
Yeah, make up for it. And so I was like, okay, yeah, he's making up for it. It's good. It's all good. So he came over and we actually had like a really fun night in my apartment. We did like watch like dumb YouTube videos and like chatted and stuff. And I was like, okay, we're good. We're good. So fast forward, I want to say maybe 2 months later. And so that was when I was literally at his place every single night, every single day. I barely even like went to my apartment at that point. I would just not go back to my apartment. And I don't want to say he was like holding me captive, but it kind of felt like that, like in hindsight, because whenever I would tell him, okay, I have to go home because I need new underwear and like I need to get some clothes or like something for my classes, he was like, no, stay, you're good, it's okay, blah blah. I'll just lend you some clothes, which that man was so much bigger than I was. Like, I could have never, even like a t-shirt would have been like a fucking dress on me. And so I felt so gross and dirty that I would not even show up to class because I felt like I was too dirty to go outside, basically. So for a good like 3 weeks, I did not leave his apartment. So I'm not going to go into detail, but a lot of disgusting shit happened while I was there. Basically held captive, which sounds really dramatic, but it's the way I see it now in hindsight.
Did your friends reach out to you?
Yes and no, because they knew him and they knew that he was nice and trustworthy. Yeah, most of my friends were not worried about me because they had met him before, and he's like such a personable and like humorous and nice person that they did not think twice about it, really. I do want to give a little bit of detail, nothing graphic, nothing sexual, but like the kind of comments that he would have towards me. So because he was so much bigger and taller than I was, he like a recurring comment, type of comment that he would make would be something like, ooh, like holding my arm, ooh, I can break your arm right now. Or like, oh, you're so small, you're so petite, you're so like
Fragile.
fragile. Yeah, exactly. And he would like hold me down. He would just like kind of play fight with me, but I knew that I was not to reciprocate the fighting because I was scared that he would actually hurt me. But yeah, and that at that point I could tell it was not okay because every day he was using my body, not even using protection when I was asking him to. And when I would realize he was not wearing protection, I would tell him, don't come inside. And he would still come inside. It was crazy. It was crazy. So disrespectful, so disgusting. And I had to like get out of there basically. And the only thing that I could think of was go back on Tinder. Yay! Go back onto Tinder and like get the fuck out of there. But at the same time, I was still not mad at him because I still had that like nurse thing towards him. I was like, oh, he's being weird and like he's doing this to me or with me because he's not feeling good in his life. He's like depressed, you know? He's toxic, but like it's not his fault, you know? And so I went on a first date with a guy, and that guy happens to be the boyfriend that I still have right now, 8 years later. And so I remember first date I started seeing him. So I'm gonna use another name. Let's say David is my current boyfriend and the guy that I had a first date with at that time. So I met David. It was really nice and it was really fun. And we had like 3 first dates and he was really respectful, really funny, no bad vibes at all. And I remember one night David was over at my apartment, and my phone was blowing up because I was not visiting that other guy because I was with that new one. And so David is like, who the fuck is texting you that much? Like, it's crazy. Are they okay? And you're like, yeah, it's just this guy. He thinks, I remember saying exactly, he thinks I'm his girlfriend. And I was like, yeah, he's just like having sex with me. I'm not really sure that I want to. And I kind of like spilled the beans without realizing that I'm describing literal rapes, you know? And I remember it was David that looked me in the eye. It was like, it's rape. What you're experimenting right now are rapes and it's very serious. Stop talking to this guy and do you want to go to the police? And I was like, this is our third date. Let's calm down, okay? Like, come on. And yeah, I was just like, and like planted a seed in my brain. I was like, is it actually rape? Like, is it that serious? Is it really? And so he's the one, so David, he's the one that told me, stop like contacting him, do not respond to his text. If you have things over at his apartment, forget about it, just like leave everything there, just like ghost him. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's a good idea. And so I remember I sent like this very extensive text to that other guy, I mean that first guy. And I did not even mention like the sexual things or anything, but I was just like, you did this, you said this to me, you did this to me. I feel uneasy. I don't want to talk to you. You're a fucking weirdo. Something like that. And the message he replied after this whole text, which did not include anything about rape or anything. So it was in French, so let me translate. It was like, after what I did to you, no one will ever want you again. And if you don't end up throwing yourself in the river, I'll throw you myself. So that was literal, like a death, a death threat. So I like blocked him and like just, yeah, ghosted him, and he never resurfaced in my life. But then began the realization that I was actually raped. And so after David had pronounced that word, I did not know what to do. And so I looked up online. So this happened to me, like describing like the facts and stuff. Is that rape? Or like those kind of like keywords.
Okay.
Because I was still not sure. And then Google recommended this like line. It's called Fil Santé Jeune.
Cool.
And it's basically like psychologists, doctors, gynecologists that you can call when you have questions that are like that you don't feel comfortable asking like face to face to a doctor and stuff like that. They also have like a suicide line for young people. And so I called this random number, Fil Santé Jeune, and this poor man that I had on the phone, honestly, bless him, but I told him everything that happened. And no, I didn't even get to the end. He was just like stopping, was like, I'll stop you right there. Even the fact that that person did not like disagreed on wearing a condom, that solely is rape. When you say no to protection, although your partner requires protection, that's rape technically, because it's like non-consensual. Like there's an element to the intercourse that is non-consensual, and that's the protection. Yeah, so that was when it really sunk in. And yeah, after that, like I was just like fucking depressed in bed. It was really hard to like get over that very intense wave of depression. Thank God I had David, and he would really help me through everything.
And tell me if that's too private, but how, you told me that you had problem having sex with David at the time.
Yeah.
How did it show?
So at first, I think the first few times we had sex, it had not sunk in that I had been raped. So we had like a normal, I had normal sexual behavior still at the time, especially like when you're in your honeymoon period, when you start dating a new guy and it's going well, and you can tell like he's falling in love and I'm falling in love. It was beautiful. It was great. It was healthy. But then right when it started sinking in, I was just like impossible to do anything at first. So I went through different phases in the span of like 2-3 years. First phase was definitely feeling attacked whenever he would try to make a move on me, or he as in David, or like not even make a move, but like just kissing me, for example. I'd be like cutting it short because I didn't want it to like slide into sexual territory. So I would completely accept like a romantic little kiss. But as soon as it would start to get more heated, more sexual, I would just like get away from me, you know? So I had that. And then maybe that would have lasted for like 8 months to a year. Impossible to have sex with anyone. I was still with David. I was always with David during all of that. And then came the complete like asexuality. And that lasted for at least 2 years. And then, well, props to this man, by the way, like David got sent because he met this random girl on Tinder, completely traumatized. She doesn't want to have sex with him. She literally like physically is repulsed by like kisses and like affectionate gestures. And then she turns asexual. Perfect. So yeah, he didn't leave.
So it wasn't just about having sex with a man. It was just sex out.
I had not even touched myself
Yeah.
for 3 years.
So would you say that you had been deprived of your body in a way?
Yeah, for sure. And I had lost a lot of weight as well. I'm a pretty tall girl. And so just to give you my height, I'm 175, and I would like my normal like healthy weight is like 60 kilos, and I went down to 45 kilos. So I lost like 15 kilos in the span of 3 years. And it all came to like a climax when I moved to another apartment in a completely other side of town, which I was really happy about that I had to move from that studio apartment. It was completely destiny because I had gotten like a letter from my landlord telling me that I had to move out because he needed to blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, thank God I can like go to another neighborhood.
And you also had to leave because your rapist was still around.
He was literally so close to me.
And when you were still living there, weren't you afraid of bumping into him?
Sure. Oh yeah, I was terrified. I would like go around different ways and like find longer ways to get places so that I would not like walk in streets that I knew he would frequent. And honestly, whenever the metro would stop at his metro station, I would be like this, like looking at my knees, looking at my feet, and like not make eye contact with anyone because I know that if I saw him in person, like in my brain, it was like, oh, I'm gonna rip his face apart. I'm gonna fucking slap him in the face. But I know that's not what would have happened.
Yeah.
I would have just fucking like probably passed out, froze. Because I know that man would have just looked at me and talked to me as if nothing would have happened, you know? Even after that death threat that he sent me as the last message.
Did this guy go to your place at some point? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
he'd hang out in my apartment a lot.
It's okay. So did he try to, I don't know, knock at your door or things like that?
No, nothing like that. He just like left my life basically. And David would tell me a lot, don't you want to press charges? Don't you want to go to the police? And I was very aware even back then that the police is not very helpful when it comes to like quote unquote normal rapes, standard rapes, good rapes. So I feel like I had no like proof of anything at that point that I could give to police except for that messenger conversation. But I feel like that was not enough anyways.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like ready and up for it. So, and like I was starting to get more hindsight of the situation. I was starting to see like the bigger picture. It's like, okay, actually our messenger conversation is very incriminating. And this is where he would write down the threats and, you know, like tons of other shitty things that he would tell me. Yeah. So I got home that day and I tried to look for our conversation, but I had him blocked, so I could not access it. So I called one of my friends who's like a hacker. You know, he's an internet sleuth, and he's an actual like computer engineer. And he told me that there's something in French legislation that you can make a request to Facebook. That they send you all of the conversations that you've had since you've subscribed to Facebook, basically, since you've signed up to Facebook. So for me, that was 2008. So you get this huge file of conversations for the past literal 15 years, and you get the archived conversations, you get the deleted conversations, you get the blocked conversations, and you get the ongoing conversations. So you get everything, even the weird Indian guys that like hit you up in 2007, you know? So I had gotten all of that, and like I look through the way it's like organized, you see like a file, and then when you click it, you got like thousands of files with different names. So like each file has the name of a Facebook user that you've had the conversation with. And so I scroll through that and I'm like, what the fuck? He's nowhere to be found. He's nowhere. So I call my my IT friend back and he's like, so there's something in French legislation. It's called le droit à l'oubli. And that's specifically that on the internet in French legislation and probably like European legislation, you have something. So it's roughly translated to the right to be forgotten. So you can make a formal request to Facebook to erase something, to delete something. Yeah, to delete something, basically. So that means the only reason his name was not in that file was because he would have used that right. So that means that man made a formal request to Facebook to have our messenger conversation deleted. And that made me feel so much better. I was like, he's like, it's weird. It's kind of like a dichotomy because like you'd think I'd be mad that he did that, but to me it was a proof that he felt guilty and that he knew that if I went to the police with that conversation, he would be fucked, you know? So I was like, period.
Yeah.
He's guilty.
You had power.
Yeah, right.
In-
I feel like that was kind of like a switch. There was a mood switch that that day. I was like, okay, so I'm an actual victim and now I have proof.
Well, it started on the internet and it finished in a way
Yeah,
on the internet as well.
sure. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, about this victim status.
Mhm.
Would you say that you are a victim or you were a victim?
So I have actually a strong opinion about the word victim. I think we have made out this word to be um, belittling,
Mm.
but I think being a victim is something that should be seen as something neutral, because there's the team of people that think that being a victim is their whole identity and it's something to be reclaimed and we should make that word more positive because it's a status. There are other people that refuse to be qualified as a victim. For me, it's just like factually, I am a victim. I don't like define myself by that word. I don't think it's neither positive or negative. Yeah, I feel like it's a balance. It's a balance. And because like in my mind, there are so many victims walking around. Like I feel like we are all victims and it should never be used as an insult. Because when you're a victim, it means something has been perpetrated on you. Like you don't choose to be a victim. People with bad intentions make you a victim.
And it creates shame on the wrong side.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like, why would I be ashamed about something that I did not choose to be?
Mm.
You know? So yeah, I kind of like, if I had to do some kind of analogy, the body positive movement, people that think it's like too cringe and like too over the top and that it's not really useful to have body positivity. And a lot of people strive for body neutrality. And that's what I kind of strive for about the victim status. I feel like it should be neutral. It's just like factually something has been done to you that you didn't choose. So that makes you a victim.
Okay, I'm going to ask a weird question.
Go for it. Go for it.
Do you find any pleasure in sex?
I do, yeah. When when I'm not romantically involved with a guy, it's pleasurable. It's really enjoyable.
Why do you think you can't have that pleasure with someone you're in love with? Are you afraid of something? Are you afraid of letting go?
I think there's a good part of it that is afraid of letting go for sure.
Do you, I mean, are you overthinking your sexual relationship with him, maybe?
Well, at that point, it's like in my head, it's gone to such shit that, yeah, I overthink it. But like, we're affectionate. We give each other like little kisses and like we hug and we cuddle on the couch and stuff. But like, as soon as it starts getting sexual, I feel uneasy.
Yeah. He's some sort of sacred person.
Yeah, yeah.
And that you're not supposed to have sex with someone
Right.
pure.
Yeah, and like someone that is so close to me and someone that respects me so much, because I feel like there's also the fact that maybe subconsciously I'm afraid that he will lose respect towards me if we're in a sexual position.
Yeah, maybe he sees sex as something belittling.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever talked about it to him?
I guess I have, but not in a hot minute. We have not had a conversation about that in a long time. But yeah, we are thinking about seeing like a sex therapist or something that could like direct us to some things to try out together. Because I think last time we had sex was like a year ago, over a year ago. And I don't remember what happened that night and why we ended up doing it, but it's also the physical pain for me. Because ever since that thing happened with that guy in 2016, I it's hurting. It's hurting me. Yeah. I don't know what it's called. It's like I feel like my muscles in my vagina are like sore every time I try to put something in it. So it's also not pleasurable because it's hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said that it wasn't the case for when you weren't in a relationship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
So,
100% like in my head.
yeah, it's psychological.
Yeah.
You said that, having realized this sexually abused status, you also realized that you also had been raped previously in your life. I mean,
Yeah, sexually assaulted plus maybe.
but I think that, I don't have the data, the precise data, but I know that people who have been raped are more inclined to be raped again.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it all circles back, and
Because like when you're
yeah.
taught, like not taught, but like when society tells you that as a woman, you should seek out those toxic relationships, you should seek out those bad boys, you should give men what they want because that makes you like a better woman, that makes you more attractive to men. And I remember that specific guy in high school, I was so in love with that guy. And I had convinced myself that he was in love with me because he was having sex with me. But also deep down, I knew that it was not the case because he was so disrespectful to me. And yeah, he was the first guy that really, really nearly fucking raped me. And yeah, it was a weird thing because like it was a party, everyone was like on drugs or drunk, and he had like lured me behind that weird church because we were like in a very lost little village near my hometown, like those big like venues, and like it was 3 birthdays at the same time. There were like 300 people. It was like Project fucking X in there. And this guy, he probably knew that I loved him more than he loved me. And he would take advantage of that. Because like we would have sex. We would have sex like periodically here and there whenever were able to like sneak out, But it was never like I never considered him to be like close to me, because he was so distant emotionally. But at that party, he was drunk. I was a little bit stoned, but like I was pretty sober, honestly. And he had like lured me behind that church near the venue. Creepy. And we started like making out, and he was putting like his fingers down my underwear. And like I had this switch that flipped in my mind, and I was like, are we about to have sex like on a fucking church, like behind a fucking church? And I was in Catholic school back then, so I was like, that's not gonna happen. So I was like, okay, you need to calm down. We're not gonna do that like here. And he was like, no, please suck my dick, suck my dick. Like I want to be too graphic, but like he was pleading for me to perform oral sex on him, and to the point that he was like unbuttoning like his pants, and he was like pushing my head down like forcefully when I was saying no, no, no. And then I like pushed him away. He slapped me, spat on me, and walked away.
The fuck?
Yeah. And I had like my underwear down to my ankles, and I was literally like I had fallen in the dirt like around the church. Yeah. And that was just another fucking Sunday night for me. I was like, okay, a Saturday night for me. I was like, okay, sure, that just happened. The things you like accept as a teenage girl, it's crazy.
And I think that as a teenage boy, at that time when you're a man, you have to lose your virginity. It's the reverse, it's the opposite of women.
Right.
Women are taught to keep their virginity, whereas men, they have to get rid of it. And no matter the cost, I guess.
Yeah.
In this case.
No, it was crazy because I was in that Catholic school with like, it was a lot of students. Like I want to say over 1,000 students. And there were like crazy, like ragers every weekend. I was honestly like invited to a lot of them. But every Monday morning it was guys just like boasting that they had sex with that girl, and she doesn't even remember. Yeah.
But
I'm getting chills talking about this. Like honestly, more than my own story. I remember like at a certain party, I walked into a bathroom and I saw one of my friends. She was like knocked out. She was like eyes closed, just like laying there, and a guy was having sex with her. And it was just so fucking normalized. It was normal. I remember I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Ha, like laughing at it. And like how uneducated we were. It's crazy. Because if that happened today, I would literally like knock the fuck out of that man if I saw that happen now. Took me 10 years to realize we have worth as women, I guess.
Yeah. And you realize how many victims.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I feel like victim neutrality is important, because if as victims we keep that status as like an active status for all of our life, I don't know what good that could do, you know? Because that holds you back. That holds you back to the past. It makes you like relive everything. Like, I don't want people to look at me and see a victim, like negatively, pejoratively, you know?
And you were a victim at that time, at that specific moment. But now, you know, you are not a victim anymore. I mean, at the present time, you know?
I kind of disagree. I still see myself as a victim of rape and as a victim of that man, but not like actively thinking about it every day or thinking about it every time rape is brought up in a conversation. You know, I don't put myself in that narrative all the time, but I know I am a victim because something happened to me, you know? And because I'm still dealing with the aftermath and the consequences of that, I still am a victim.
Well, but if you think that way, you will always be a victim, right?
Yeah, but if you look at that word in a neutral, from a neutral perspective, you know, you're just a victim. It's, I mean, not just as in like you don't have worth. It's just like factually, because something happened to you, you're a victim. Maybe like if you're a baker, you're a baker, you know? It's like factually. Yeah, I'm not bothered by the term, and I don't define myself. Like, I'm not gonna say, I am Louise, I'm a victim. No, it's just like, I'm a victim, sure, but like it's not the most important part about me.
Yeah, you're not only a victim.
No, yeah, for sure.
Well, and I think you have met the right people, the people who told you that.
Yeah.
"Ooh."
No, yeah, definitely.
Some people, they never realize that.
Right.
And they
The amount of like
yeah.
women in their 50s, 60s that just don't realize that they were and are victims of rape and sexual assault, blah, blah. It's crazy.
And there are also, there are people dealing with incest.
Oh, yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of things going on. Would you say that you managed to heal from that sexual trauma?
As of today, I feel like not really. No, because I still have not managed to link love and sex. And I feel like the day I reach that ideal, I'll be healed. But also, I feel like you never really heal. It doesn't have to be like actively dire and sad and victimy your whole life, but like it still happened to you in your lifetime. So that's something that you will remember.
Yeah, and I also think that you have to remember that there are other things to be healed, right? You need to discover more about yourself, things like that.
No, yeah, for sure.
And not only that, this is not the main quest of your life.
Right. Yeah. And I think, yeah, that's a good thing to bring up, because when something like that happens to you, you tend to like focus solely on that, and it like blinds you of any other thing happening in your life. Yeah.
And that's a weird question, but would you have any advice for, the people listening to us right now? And maybe some of them want to help victims, some of them have been abused themselves.
Well, it's really kind of a case per case kind of question, because it depends on if it was when you were little, if it was with a member of your family, if it, like I feel like all rapes are unique. But no, at least for me, like, yeah, you just have to let it sink in. Like, I'm a rape victim, and really accept that and accept that the road to healing and feeling better is going to be long. You're going to be frustrated on the way there, but yeah, there are other things to life than suffering. And yeah, I would say like the most important thing to help in your recovery is to be surrounded by positive people, whether that would be friends or family or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever, you know.
Anything to add, maybe?
Yeah, I guess I kind of I didn't really touch on that step in my recovery, like all the first feeling threatened by affection and then being asexual. I feel like that switch between being threatened and feeling asexual happened overnight because I had so much anger, something that I have not really talked about in this podcast as of right now. But another feeling that I would associate with that path is anger. I was so angry. I was consumed by rage, female rage.
Angry at whom?
At him.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was angry at him. And that happened after I realized he did it on purpose and he meant to hurt me after that messenger thing, right to be forgotten, like thing that I discovered. I started to develop like this intense rage. I would have, you know, like how when you're about to fall asleep, like you make up little scenarios in your head, and usually it's like, oh, I'm on the beach and like I'm hanging out with my friends and it's nice. For me, I was picturing me killing him with my bare hands. I was picturing me strangling the fuck out of him. I was picturing me poisoning him, beating his face. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like intense rage.
The same level of violence in a way.
Right. Yeah.
That you felt. Yeah.
And it was rage and the feeling of that's so unfair. And that's something that I still kind of struggle with. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to that a little bit later, but I want to talk about like the last nightmare that I had about him because I would dream about him a lot and he would always be behind me or running up on me or scaring me in my dreams. And it's so cliche, but it's true. Like I'm a big I dream a lot. I have a lot of dreams. I dream every night and I usually remember my dreams. And so yeah, I would dream about him a lot. And the last dream I was on a boat. I was like on this cruise, listening to music on a pool, like on a lounge chair. I was reading a good book, listening to music, hearing the kids play in the pool and stuff. And I was just like, relax, chillax. I was feeling so good in my dream. And then who the fuck do I see? His ass. I see his ass walking towards me in my dream. And I was like, hell no. He's not going to disturb my peace anymore. And I remember I told everyone, like I screamed on top of my lungs in my nightmare, he fucking raped me. He's a fucking rapist. And everyone helped me throw him overboard. Woo! We threw him overboard. And I went back to my lounge chair and I kept on reading. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I just went. It was like I really needed to pee. And then I peed and I was like, ah, you know, like a weight off my shoulders. It was crazy. And I really remember that dream very vividly.
Yeah. And I guess, things that happen when you are being hypnotized, when you are dreaming, they somewhat happen in reality. Like you experience that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
Dreams are here to help you cope with whatever happens in your life, you know?
Would you like to, if you had the opportunity, would you like to face him?
I don't think it would do any good. Because I'm still holding on to that fact that he did that right to be forgotten online on Facebook to erase the messenger thing. So like I know everything I need to know. Like I know he's guilty. I know he meant to do that to me and I know he did something wrong because he was trying to erase proof. He did erase proof. So I feel like it would not do any good. Yeah.
Good.
I wouldn't want to face him. I don't know what I would tell him.
Okay. I've just looked up for the word rape to know wow.
Etymology?
Yeah, exactly. And It comes from the Latin rapere. Oh, sorry.
Beautiful accent in Latin.
Meaning to steal, seize, or carry away. So,
Period.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And yep.
I mean, what would you say he stole away from you?
I don't know what to say. I feel like it's about to get really cheesy and stereotypical, but I lost my innocence. I lost my love towards people at some point. I lost the ability to trust men. I gained the curse of assuming the worst in men. And no, yeah, he to some degree, I feel like he stole my ability to love my boyfriend the way he deserves. Yeah, and I feel like that's the worst for me. Yeah, because he indirectly, that man is still alive in me and David's relationship because we both know why we're not having sex, and that's because of him. Partly.
Wow.
Heavy conclusion. I apologize. I'm doing good, y'all. I'm okay.
Well, I think that your job, not only your job, your friend's job and everyone's job, is to kill that ghost, to throw him away, to throw him out of that boat that is your life.
Yeah,
And
right.
let's go in that beautiful cruise together. Let's sip our drinks. Let's
go to Corsica.
Yeah.
That boat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's really it's still kind of the female rage in me that men get to walk free after destroying a woman's life. I'm talking beyond myself here. I'm not necessarily talking about myself, because he did destroy some parts of my life, some parts of my psyche, but there are some people, some women that have it a lot worse. Some women that literally almost died after sexual assaults and rapes. And yeah, those men are just not prosecuted. They're not being held accountable. They're not recognizing any wrongdoing. And that is just so beyond me. But it's opening a whole nother debate. It's just the treatment of rapists and sexual offenders in a court of justice is just archaic, in my opinion.
How do you feel about having, told us everything about?
Well, it's the first time I'm actually talking about it publicly. And actually, it was better for me that we spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
It's really reassuring to me because it's my second language. My first language is French, and it feels more personal when I talk about it in French, because I know that potentially could mean that someone who's not an English speaker in my family circle or friends could find out about it through this podcast, and I would not want that to happen. And honestly, whenever this goes live on Spotify, I don't think I'm going to be sharing it to my story, because I don't know, I still kind of feel iffy about my cousins and my sister.
Yeah. And you have the right of privacy as well. You don't have to tell everyone. You just have to tell the people you trust. Well,
thank you for having me.
Well, thank you
for letting me trauma dump for 2 hours.
It was delicious.
Finger licking good.
Thank you for listening to that heavy yet enlightening testimony. If you or one of your friends is in a situation of distress, you are not alone. Don't hesitate to visit www.wannatalkaboutit.com to find the professional help you need. Don't forget to subscribe and share to support us. Thank you, and see you soon.